To a reporter asking if the city was under Russian control. Yes, the city is 100% ours. The victory was a morale boost for Russia, days ahead of the 2-year anniversary of its full-scale invasion of its neighbor. For Ukraine, the loss highlighted its dependence on Western weapons, as hold-ups have left it short of provisions and handicapped in the fight. I'm Karen Shamas.
You'll find more at voanews.com. This is VOA News. The widow of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has vowed to continue his fight against the Kremlin. Meanwhile, authorities denied his mother access to a morgue where his body is believed to be held after his death last week in an Arctic penal colony. Residents in Democratic Republic of Congo's city of Goma are now depending on scant food supplies as a conflict in the country's east between the army and rebels has cut off supply routes. Reuters correspondent David Doyle.
Clashes in towns and villages around the provincial capital have escalated since the start of the year. As the M23 rebel group has seized territory, thousands have sought refuge in Goma. Around 135,000 have fled the town of Sake in the past week, according to the United Nations Refugee Agency. They join hundreds of thousands displaced around Goma since 2022, due to the ongoing fighting. The UN agency has warned that the conflict, including indiscriminate bombing, risks exacerbating the strain on already limited resources to cater for the influx.
Reuters' David Doyle reporting. AP correspondent Jackie Quinn reports on the federal government now increasing its investment in U.S. computer chip production.
The Biden administration says it's investing over $1 billion to help a computer chip company, GlobalFoundries, expand its production facilities in New York and Vermont. Last year, President Biden vowed to expand domestic production of computer chips to avoid the shortages that developed during the pandemic.
We can never let that happen again.
The money comes from a bill passed in 2022 that allows the government to invest billions in chip-making manufacturers, which helps supply smartphones, military equipment, and electric vehicles.
We're going to make sure the supply chain for America begins in America.
The projects in Malta, New York, and Burlington, Vermont are expected to create 1,500 manufacturing jobs, along with 9,000 construction jobs over the next decade. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Astronomers have discovered what may be the brightest object in the universe. The record-breaking quasar has a black hole at its heart that's so big and growing so fast that it swallows the equivalent of a sun each day. The distant quasar shines 500 trillion times brighter than our sun, and its black hole is more than 17 billion times more dense than our sun. An Australian-led team reported the findings Monday in the journal Nature Astronomy. The scientists say that the object was misclassified as a star decades ago and therefore hiding in plain sight. I'm Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
Coming to you loud and clear, this is VOA Africa, 94.1 FM in Monrovia and 102.5 FM in Freetown.
BBS News.
It is the 20th of February 2024. Welcome to the lunchtime news bulletin here at Bunyoro Broadcasting Services. But before the main news, a look at what has made the stories. Suspected ADF terrorists arrested. Mass enrollment for upgraded national register starts June according to NIRA. And Lwengo thieves steal from the witch doctor shrine. And Bagonza Frederick Mandela to read the detail. The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has revealed that the mass registration for national IDs all over the country will kickstart June this year. Addressing journalists on Monday, NIRA Executive Director Rosemary Kisembo said the exercise will be done in all parts of the country to ensure that no one is left out. She said the exercise will be done for a period of 10 months and will first consider Ugandans aged 16 and above, who by September or November must be registered to enable their data captured for the National Voters Register by the Electoral Commission ahead of the 2026 general elections. Section 5 of the Registration of Persons Act mandates NIRA to, among other things, create, manage, maintain, and operate the National Identification Register, register citizens of Uganda, register non-citizens of Uganda, register births and deaths, and to assign a unique national identification number to every person registered in the National Identification Register. She explained that with Uganda's population being at 45 million, the National Identification Register currently has only 27 million, noting that the exercise seeks to add between 17 million and 18 million Ugandans. Kisembo said even Ugandans abroad will be registered to ensure they get national identity cards. Uganda's security services have apprehended a key suspect in the terrorist Allied Democratic Forces ADF attack in Kamwenge district, western Uganda, that left over 10 people dead in December last year. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga identified the suspect as Bahati Abdul Razak, aged 28. Enanga said during a press conference yesterday, the police in Rwenzori East on February 12, 2024, arrested Bahati, a 20-year-old ADF rebel to Todoli in the DRC, who was part of the group that sneaked into Uganda in November 2023 through Butunya and Toroko and carried out attacks in Kamwenge. Enanga added that most of Bahati's colleagues were eliminated as operations targeting other remnants continue. ADF terrorists last year sneaked from the hideouts in the DRC to conduct attacks in Uganda. In a related development, Enanga said the Joint Anti-Terrorism Attack Units recovered an 11-year-old ADF recruit, Kibombo Munimbu, along Kivinzi village, Lake Katwe sub-county, after he escaped from the ADF in the DRC, where he had been taken by his grandfather Suleidi Muzungu and 3 other children from Erapa Nimimba village in Buyende district. The parents of the victim are Kibumba Muzamil and Nabire Fatuma. Enanga said the arrangements are in place to hand over the victim as police trace for the grandfather, who is an ADF collaborator. A traditional healer in Rengo district has been forced to sneak police intervention after thieves broke into his shrine and made off with valuables. Yasin Semanda, also known as Jaja Galava, appeared helpless, having seemingly lost the very tools of trade he could have used to apprehend the suspects on his own, but he will be pleased that the intervention of Juliet Kawanguzi, the OC station at Inkoni Police Post, has the suspects in custody. At least 7 suspects are being held over the shrine's break-in after Jaja Galava cried of having lost his ancestral interpart and other valuables. Police said suspects, most of them teens, were led by Ronald Gabula Ronald, a notorious gang leader. They were found in possession of various incriminating items in their rental room. The items included ancestral cards, 7 mobile phones, laptops, ancestral liquor, and other miscellaneous objects. According to residents, Gabula has instilled fear in the village, with reports suggesting that he occasionally sleeps in trees, purportedly to surveil potential targets for the thieves. OC Kawanguzi confirmed the arrest of the 7 suspects and commended the vigilance of the residents in reporting suspicious criminals. And now to end the news broadcast here at BBS FM, here again is a look at the main stories. Suspected ADF terrorists arrested. Mass enrollment for upgraded national identity cards start June, according to NIRA. And Luengo thieves. Beg your pardon. And Luengo thieves steal from witch doctor's shrine. That has been the news here at BBS FM. Please tune in for other special arrangements.
BBS News.
Webale kuwuliriza Babasa ensolo y'enkulakulana. Webale kuwuliriza Babasa ensolo y'enkulakulana.
Binzika Poultry International kile kitongole kyokusobora kwesiga kukora nakyo mu kukonyera okora famu era kuhereza amagoba maingi nibakwereza obwana bw'enkoko bw'ekiro kimu n'emmere y'okulisa enkoko ey'ebika bingi era nibakonyera okusagika mu by'ekikugu nibakusanga na mbere wona